everybody, welcome to the ITL. Let's start off this week. Actually, we'll start off with the weather like I always do. Why not? It's actually warmed up in here. It's actually like, oh, it feels like it's in the 40s in here. I started the my heater a little bit, just enough to get the dampness out. It's been raining in there, snowing. It doesn't know when to stay above freezing and when not to around here. But my floor in my garage has gotten quite damp from the SUV going in and out all the time. So it's like, my floor is so wet, it's unreal. Making mud. Which, I mean, I can clean it up. It's not a big deal, but it's annoying to walk through mud. Especially in my garage. But anyway, let's move on from that, and I'll say congratulations. I mean, I know it's a few weeks late. Matt, this is for Moto Matt Man with capital M's. I'll call him Senior. He actually paid off his Versus he picked up a little while back, and something surprising came up. He showed me. Showed a few people. For being a Kawasaki Versus, the title actually says KLR. And he's actually checked in on that to make sure the title's correct. And they said, yeah, some of the Versus are actually titled KLR. I kind of find that kind of interesting, actually. Because, I mean, as if you don't know, if most of you don't, if any you don't know, the KLR 650 is ceased to be created, made after this, at the beginning of this year. Which is, I mean, to me, what does that do with me as far as the goat goes? That's okay. That's all right. There's so many aftermarket parts made for the KLR, and actually parts for fixing these things. That and actually older bikes that run around are still on the road that you can find for used parts. That I mean, I'll be stocked up for many years. That's the same with all the rest of us owners of the KLR 650. Because I mean, technically, there's most of the parts technically will even swap in between the two generations, the Gen 1s and the Gen 2s. So I was like, yeah, I have no problems with that. The only thing I've had troubles with the KLR is getting color matching parts, which I've came down to the conclusion that I'm just going to have to get the parts painted. And that's just it, because some of the parts are commonly broken, and whenever you want to get them replaced, you just don't find them. Yeah, like the front fairing, I could go ahead and change out the whole front fairing to the aftermarket front fairing, but I want to keep it looking KLR. And KLR 650, and it's just like, what do you do? Like if you noticed in my other videos, I actually show it. The right front fairing right now is camouflaged fairing. It's the one I was able to get my hands on, and it was, I mean, the right price, and it replaced a broken fairing on that side. So I went ahead and just put it on. I'll get it painted later on, and probably won't get done before the meetup I'm wanting to get to in the summertime, but that's okay. That's all right. I got a lot of stuff coming up in my life this year, and it is quite overwhelming, actually. But that's my personal life. That's the way things go. But yeah, I was quite that really kind of went to me whenever I found out that the Versus was actually titled as a KLR. I mean, knowing the model style type of the engine, the motor for that thing, it doesn't, in a way, it doesn't surprise me, but it's just a hum moment, But yeah. To move on. And I don't normally like talk about politics on my channel, and I just mentioned this to actually Moto Matt Man last night before he signed off on Dante's Fox's Hangout on Thursdays, which he had his 100th Hangout episode on his channel last night. Good going, Dante. But yeah, this morning, this is, as you can tell, this is Friday. President Trump is signing the paperwork, I guess, today for a state of emergency. And I mean, that is, it's been signed many, many times by different presidents, guys. It's not really a big deal. The Democrat side is, of course, making a bigger deal as it really needs to be, in my eyes. It's just because it's President Trump. And yeah, I mean, if you watch the his talking to the press, announcing it, yeah, it'll probably put it into the court system and appealed in that way. And he, like he said, he probably will lose the first couple until it got to the Supreme Court, and more likely to get one. And I heard so many different sides online about this thing, and I mean, like he's been stated, it's been used so many times by the presidents, different presidents. It's unreal, and it's just a way to defend our country, guys, in my eyes. And that's basically all I'm going to really dip into that one. But yeah, I'm actually for the border wall myself. That's just me, and there's no other talking me out of that, because I always thought our border needed to be enforced better. And the walls that we actually had, they've been up for so long, they need repairs even. And a lot of this border wall thing is repairing the walls that exist. It's just a fact. I mean, things get aged, things crumble. Come on, guys. But yeah. Oh, thanks to one of my subscribers, longtime friends, and he knows who he is. I'm not going to mention names. I got my hands on a GoPro Hero 960, and you might say, "Well, you get an old GoPro like that for?" I'll tell you why. It shoots 720p. 720p is a good camera on YouTube. Video on YouTube. The audio doesn't have an external audio jack. That's okay. Whenever I'm riding a bike, I use the audio from my GoPro Hero 4 for all the cameras that are running on my bike. So that's not a problem. And that'll give me an extra camera for the bike to be able to run a B-reel on it, or be able to swap back in and out for different views. Say if I'm riding with another rider, you'll be able to, if they're behind me, you'll be able to get to see them more. Of course, if they're in front of me, you get to see it through my Hero 4. But yeah, I mean, it's very sensitive in the light. I know that. So you don't run it into like an environment I'm in right now, or say in a tunnel or something like that. You don't use it for that. It's just basically a light, sunny day camera. But I'm happy to have that. I mean, it's starting to look like I'm a GoPro fanboy, which I'm really not. I like the GoPros, but there's other cameras I do like myself. I just happened to be able to get my hands on the GoPros. My first camera was a GoPro Hero 2, and it still runs. It has a few bad pixels, but it still runs. I still use it off and on. One of the advantages of that is, yes, it has the external mic jack. And I like that idea, because that way I can always pop it on top of my helmet in place of the Hero 4 if needed. But even though I prefer the super view of the Hero 4 in 1080p, I prefer that. It just gives you a better view in my eyes. But that's my view on cameras. And I mean, yes, Matt, I use the GoPro Hero 4 just to do the ITL. And I have handy cam. I mean, I have the DVR cams. I have even my Bloggy I used to use. That's why I started out the I.T.L with, is the Bloggy. I still have that. It works. My JVC, I found it where I misplaced it. It's all charged up. It still works, no problem. And I have used that a few times for the I.T.L. I just choose not to scream at the camera. I don't have to scream at the camera the way this is set up, because I have the wireless mic. Because neither one of those has a wireless external mic jack. So I just prefer to do this way. But yeah, I mean, I figured I'd let Matt know what cameras I do use, where I use it. And actually, for my icons, my custom icons. There's been lots of times where I use this old camera from the 90s. It actually takes video, but I mean the video is not that great. But it takes decent enough pictures that for whenever they're small, they look really nice because they're low resolution, low pixeled. And that's an old Sony Maverick. And it takes 3.5-inch discs, the old 3.5-inch discs. And that's what I use for my still shots for my icons. I mean, you can always use the old stuff to do certain jobs. And I always allocate that whenever I get my hands on them. But yeah, cameras, I have several cameras. I have several cameras for still shots, for this, for my riding. I use them all. They all have a job. But yeah, oh, we'll talk about, give a good little shout out to Miss Moto TV. Yeah, I find her interesting and funny. I really do. She'll make you chuckle. And then she actually mentioned she's actually thinking about possibly in the future getting a KLR 650. A KLR, she says, and she doesn't know that there's a difference between there's a Gen 1 and a Gen 2, which the Gen 1 is more military looking, more off-road looking, where the Gen 1 is more of the sport model with the fairings. But they're basically the same bike. Basically, there's mild differences, but they're basically the same bike. But yeah, I mean, I think she's big enough too. She's a tall lady. And she'll be able to ride it. Now, would it be the best bike for her? Only she can say that. Myself, I mean, is the KLR the best bike in my eyes? And I boast about the KLR 650. And I'll be honest with you, to be outright honest, I think it's the better bike for me. Could it have a little bit more on the top end for speed on it? Yeah, but it's a base model a sport touring bike for off-road and on-road, and it does that. It really does that. Can it sustain highway speeds? Yes, it can. For the United States, it can sustain them no problem. Does it get up to speed quickly? No. If you got the base model that hasn't been tampered with, heated up a little bit in the engine. I'm talking to Dante about Dante on that one. The base model, you got to plan your attack whenever you go on the interstates and the highways. It's just the way it is. But it does it okay. I have no qualms. Can I normally hang with the cruisers? They can normally take off quicker than me. It takes me a little bit longer to get up to speed, but I don't care. I ride my own ride. And the KLR and I love it. I love it for me. But is it good for other people? That's the only thing. It might not be good for you. My best thing is if you can get a ride, best idea is if you can get somebody that has one, you can get a test ride it, or get a test ride on a new one, or we got a new old stock. That'd be a good idea. But a KLR 650, it's not really for everybody. I mean, I pick on other people about their motorcycles. It doesn't even have to be. It can still be in the same brand of the Kawasaki even. Yeah, I banter with them. But there's other better motorcycles for other people. I used to pick on with the Buckeye boys in Ohio about their little Honda 250s. They're Rebels. And those little Rebels did awesome, I'll tell you. But yet there was bantering going back and forth. I mean, I used to ride up beside Keith actually at a stoplight, and I say, I hate to look down on your motorcycle, but I kind of have to because it's so short. But the thing is, it's just bantering and joking because the bikes, they all have problems. They all have their own problems, and as long as you're happy, that's fine. It should be fine like that. It shouldn't matter what I freaking think. But I have to say though, this goes out to Raven. I don't think she watches my videos. But anybody else, and I know, oh, the little man, or he goes, man of many names, round and around. Yeah, he knows I joke around about the bantering and everything. And he rides Honda. And but this goes out to you guys. Yeah, Honda's doing so good right now, they don't even need to sell motorcycles in my area anymore, because the Honda shop is closed down several months ago. It's, I mean, I've gone past it. It's a closed down shell, and it still has the outline of the Honda on the front. They don't need the money anymore. That's not putting your Honda down. It's just saying, hey, yeah, you can see that you can look at it any way you want to. But that's just trying to put a good light on it. That's just trying to put a good light on it. But I don't care what you ride, Suzuki, Honda, Harley, it doesn't matter, Kawasaki, it doesn't matter, whatever brand, whatever model. If you're happy with it, don't let anybody, don't get offended if somebody puts it down. They have their own opinions. Myself, I really don't have an opinion on it. As long as you're happy, that's great for it. Long as it does you good, that's great for it. Now, whenever it starts not doing you so good, you might be a time for an upgrade for you or something, if you can afford it. But if you can't afford it, you have to just repair it and move on. That's fine. I mean, it's your bike. It's your ride. Why should it matter what anybody says? I mean, a lot of people put down KLR 650s. I don't worry about it. I really don't. I'm happy with my KLR. I'm thrilled to have the GOAT. It's my bike. That's the way it is. It's just my bike. My ride. And hopefully she will get some tender loving care here soon. Oh, yeah, a few weeks ago I was kind of putting out how surprised about my channel, the subs on it. And I'll just give you a little update and then I'll leave off of that. Because I noticed it last night whenever I was talking to Dante. Because we were mentioning the channels. And the channel basically stopped, and I was surprised. It stopped at 894. I got one other subscriber shortly after that. 95 now. So I need 5 more subscribers before I break the 900 mark, which would kill, I mean, that killed the 50, my 50 goal that I put on, and that was only a couple of weeks ago. Like a week ago. Come on, guys. That was awesome. I seen my channel grow so quickly. It was like, I love this. I never seen it grow like this before. And I don't really understand totally behind it, but it doesn't really matter long as it's there and long as it's legit, and I'm happy with it. And after the 900, we'll go to the 950, then the 1K. The 1K is where my big goal, because that's whenever I can start setting the channel up. They give you a couple more extra things you can do with your channel on YouTube, and I mean it opens up some things for me, and it'll make things a little better. Right now, I have no big plans for that because it's going to be. I mean, I'm still talking. 105 subscribers I need, and I'm not a sub for sub channel. I see it this way: if you sub me, if I catch it, if I'm aware of it, I will go ahead and go over to your channel, see if you have content, if it's type of content, low planes. If you have any content, I'll go ahead and see if I like it. If I like your channel, I'll sub you. That's the way it is. Because I'll keep it. I won't just sub you. I will hit the bell. I will mark the bell so I'm supposed to get the notifications when you post. It doesn't have to work all the time, but you're supposed to get notifications coming to my channel, to me, and I'll try to watch them. The thing is, right now I have been so overwhelmed with videos by different channels, so overwhelmed, and I'm trying to get caught through it. Now, if I miss some of any of your videos, I apologize. I deeply apologize for that. But I mean, there's even other channels that I know they've unsubbed me for reasons I'm not going to get into. That, I mean, I'm still watching their videos. There's bad relations between me and them. Yeah, not between me and them. It goes, there's bad relations there either way, one way. And that's how far as I'll go there. But I just don't comment on their videos because, I mean, I don't want to stir up any crap. But I will give them a thumbs up if the video is good. I mean, I give credit where credit's due. Just because we have a disagreement does not mean that I'm going to unsub you. Something's got to be really bad before I unsub people. Because if you got good content, I'm going to be there. I'm going to support you unless it's, I mean, something horrible. That's the way I work. Most of my friends actually on YouTube understand that. And probably are not surprised about it. So, but that's just the way I am. And I mean, I don't dump friends. I just don't dump friends. They got to do pretty bad. Actually, a lot of my friends, I have gotten, well, a few of my friends, I've actually gotten hit on between them. And I have always tried to keep it on the download, not let any information out. I'm not going to say what, where, when, and all that crap of information. But I've been dumped on, and I mean, I'll give them a second chance. I'll give them third chances. After the third chance, I kind of like, I'm not going to associate with you much more. But I don't dump their whole channel. I still enjoy watching the videos. I mean, that's just the way I work. I mean, life's too short to be dwelling on crap. Life's too short. Oh, for those of you who know me from way back when, and I mentioned this a few times, with my accident, my crush injury and everything else, I've been on pain medicines for over about 20 years. And yeah, due to the war on drugs our beautiful government has created, yeah, I'm saying created, this previous Sunday, the Sunday before the Saturday that just posted, I actually got off of, I'm on no pain medication as far as narcotics go. The doctor had me down to 15 milligrams of morphine, and 15 is nothing to me. And I ended up taking myself off of it because it's like, this is what the government wants anyway. There's no fighting against it. Blah, blah, blah. Now, I did see my doctor this week, and he mentioned about going on CBD oil, which whenever I can afford it, I do get it, and I do use it. It helps. Helps better than the morphine that I was on, 15 milligram morphine. But I am also on like gabapentin for neuropathy and everything else because there's no feeling in that leg. It's their nerve damage. And that helps. That curves the pain a little bit. But I mean, that's just a little update for my back subscribers. That's enough of me jabbering at you. Hopefully I'll have more better stuff to talk about next week. I apologize for this being kind of a sour week. I hope you all have a great week. This is MuzzleMike signing out. 73, guys.